This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the earth, risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Sirach from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7, is that I came across this article today from the Brookings Institute, which is a American think tank. And the headline just spoke volumes, all right? And it reminded me of Sirach chapter 25, verse 7, because, hey, we're seeing the downfall of our enemy, all right? We're seeing Esau, Edom, all right, taking L's, meaning losing, all right? And Esau, Edom's the so-called white man, all right? Once again, this is from the Brookings Institute. This is an American think tank. All they do is collect data, meaning facts, all right? That's why it says right here, research, okay? And what they've been doing is analyzing, documenting, all right? Collecting data, collecting the facts on this ongoing war between Babylon the Great America and the Persians, which are the Iranians, okay? And they came to the conclusion, all right, that America is losing what they call power projection capabilities, okay? So clearly we're seeing the downfall of our enemy. And to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, all right, this place America, all right, is not friendly, okay? This place America is oppressive, all right? The people ruling it, all right, have been oppressive towards us, all right? The people ruling it are the biblical Edomites, the so-called white people, all right? And they've been nothing but enemies towards us. That's why you have to have a ruling class mentality, and you have to understand that they are our biblical enemies, all right? The Edomites. And as you can see, the Lord is bringing them down. This is divine, okay? The fact that the Brookings Institute has to openly say that America's losing this war, all right, this goes to show you that the Lord is cooking, all right? He's bringing down our enemy, and you have to be excited. You should be excited, all right, because this is confirmation that we're almost out of here. We're just waiting for that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, okay? So let's bring out some points that the Brookings Institute published. The Iran war has undermined the assumption that U.S. 4 bases and surface ships enjoy sanctuary from adversary attack. Right. All right. Before the Iran war, America was able to do whatever the hell they wanted in the so-called Middle East. All right. Because they had their military bases, all right, all throughout the so-called Middle East. All right. They also had their, what's it called? Their naval ships, what they call the Fifth Fleet. All right. Now look. All right. Now you're seeing their naval ships all the way out here. Okay. And they've been stuck out here. All right. Because they know if they get close, they're going to get smacked by the Persian drones and the Persian ballistic missiles. All right. This is all facts. Okay. So America's losing this war. Okay. With Iran striking hundreds of U.S. military targets in the region and threatening U.S. naval forces inside the Gulf. Exactly. Okay? That's why they all the way out there in the map that I just showed you. The Iran war should be seen as preview of future great power conflicts, as Russia and China have deliberately built far more capable arsenals designed to disrupt U.S. power projection capabilities. Right. Okay. So if America's having, okay, a hard time, all right, winning this war with Iran, how much more of a hard time they're going to have against Russia and China, which confirms that this devil, all right, is through. All right, we're clearly seeing the downfall of our enemy. All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, this is the Lord doing it. Okay, He put this devil in a snare and a trap. Let me get a scripture to back that. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Right, at one point, all right, America was able to do whatever it wanted on the earth. Okay. It was able to overthrow governments, all right? It was able to, attack, bomb any government that didn't want, okay, to move according to their will, all right? But check this out, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh, right? Okay, because Babylon the Great America, which is ruled by these Edomites, have striven against the Lord, okay? And how has America, Babylon the Great America, okay, which are ruled by these Edomites, striven against the Lord? By going against his people, all right? Harming the children of Israel, okay? And so the Lord is hearing their cries, as it says in James, chapter 5, okay? Let me get that real quickly, because the Lord is hearing the children of Israel's cry. James chapter 5. All right, I like bringing this out because in verse 4 it says, Behold, the hire the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Okay? So who is the Lord hearing? Okay? The children of Israel. Because this is the book of James. In the first, back to the basics, okay, to you pseudo-Hebrew Israelites like Genesis, well, Genesis is no more. They haven't been teaching, okay? They're finished, all right? The Lord, okay, through those hirelings, okay, threw them in the garbage, man, okay? James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Okay, so this is who the Lord's hearing. The Lord's hearing the cries of the 12 tribes. Okay, mainly the elect, because the elect, okay, are sighing and crying. Okay, and their prayers are going, all right, to the Heavenly Father. All right, through His Son, Yahushua. All right, because Yahushua is our mediator. All right, that's very important. That's why Yahushua is worthy to be, all right, praised, okay, and worshipped, okay, as well. But of course, Yahweh, all right, the Father gets the greater glory, okay. All right, he gets the greater worshipped. All right, even Yahushua said, all right, there's no one good but the Most High. Roughly paraphrasing it, okay. So yeah, that's just the order. But the point is, the Lord is hearing the cries of the children of Israel. And that's why, all right, America, Babylon the Great, which is ruled by these Edomites, all right, have been snared up. All right? Because, again, they have striven against the Lord. Okay? So now, all right, the Lord is bringing them down. And the Brookings Institute, all right, is making it plain. It says right here, the United States must urgently, look at that, must urgently disperse and harden its bases, all right, which that's not going to work, all right. Replenish munition stockpiles, which you're low on it, thanks to the Ukraine war, dumbasses. That's why the Lord, your pride have deceived you motherfuckers, man, all right. You exhausted all your ammunition in the Ukrainian war, okay, and further invest in attack submarines, and archerable unmanned systems to ensure its forward deployed forces are less vulnerable to attack. All right? You should have been doing this now. Okay? I mean, excuse me, you should have been doing this years ago, okay? And you're not, and that goes to show you that, all right, you didn't count the cost, all right? So, hey, we're here, man. Now, I just want to jump to this part right here. It says the end of an era. 2020, it is clear that Iran went to school on the U.S. Oh, man, this is the Brookings Institute saying this. Way of War understands how to leverage its limited assets to strike at the heart of U.S. power projection capabilities, both on land and at sea. Iran's leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, has said as much, explicitly threatening that the United States will no longer have a safe haven for its mischief and for establishing military bases, and that the region will no longer serve as a shields for American bases. And this is proof with them drones and them ballistic missiles. He has also openly warned that history will record that the Iranian nation sank the superpower of America in the Persian Gulf. Damn, that's a heavy statement right there. Again, this is all divine. The Lord set this up, okay? Declaring the end, all right, from the beginning, because, hey, America has to fall, all right? Babylon must fall, as the scriptures say in Revelation 18, all right? Because John the Revelator saw the vision of Babylon destroyed. That's why it says in Revelation chapter 18, I'll start at 1, but the point is at 2. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Verse 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right, okay, this is talking about desert creatures in only living here, all right? Because after the destruction, that's the only thing that's going to be living here. So John the Revelator saw the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, okay? And when you come across these articles, you can clearly see, oh yeah, this place is on its way out, all right? It's falling, all right? And that's why you got to be excited, because the Lord is bringing down our enemy, okay? America was never friendly to our people, never. And the history has it, okay? Has all the facts, okay? Right here. The Iran war has also demonstrated that U.S. forward deployed forces in the Middle East no longer enjoy sanctuary from attack. Devastating Iranian sponsored attacks. They're talking about the Houthis, Hezbollah. Okay, the Houthis are in Yemen. Hezbollah is in Lebanon, and then of course you got Hamas. Attacks have struck hundreds of sites used by the U.S. military and dramatically curtailed U.S. freedom of navigation. Oh, let's not forget the Iraqi militia groups as well that don't like America. The United States have been reluctant to regularly send destroyers into the confined water of the Gulf due to the persistent threat of Iranian mines, cruise and ballistic missiles, and drones. Right. That's why these bitch-ass niggas, gotta say it like that, these hoe-ass niggas, these bitch-ass niggas are all the way the fuck out here because they scary. All right? That's why the fucking USS, all right, Ford is back over here licking its wounds because it got fucked up. All right? This is all facts. All right? But, you know, Fox, CNN, they're not going to tell you. All right? Because, all right, that wouldn't be beneficial, all right, to tell the truth to the American people, because then the American people will realize that their country's been losing this war since they started it. Because America started this war. All right? Do we need to, all right, get the reaccount? In the middle of fucking negotiations, you destroyed a fucking school with children in it, little girls. That's how the war started. That's going to be in the history books, okay? If this current rulership or this current age continues on, which is not. We're at the end of this age, and this confirms it, because once America is done, all these heathens are removed from power or any type of authority they have. All right, the authority is going to be under the Israelites. All right. Spearheaded and ruled by the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Yahweh Shai, so-called black man. All facts. All right? This is Yappa stuff, man. Woo! We're almost out of here. Can you feel it? Can you Can you see and feel and hear the excitement? All right, so that's it, man. And then look at this one. Iran has also damaged dozens of U.S. aircraft. Wow, man. Including critical airborne warning and control aircraft and aerial refueling aircraft. These scarce platforms are vital to the U.S. ability to rapidly sortie combat aircraft and cannot be quickly or cheaply replaced. The fact that some were attacked while parked in the open in predictable locations reflects just how strongly the United States still believed in the sanctuary of its bases. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. It was pride. Okay? You thought Iran was the Iraqis or the Yemen or the Yemens or the Houthis. And even then the Houthis showed you they could spank you. Okay? And look up Operation Rough Riders. You were getting spanked in that war. In that so-called conflict. Even in the shooting war against an adversary whose formidable missile arsenal was one of the stated justifications of the war. Okay? And first of all, this war was all about nuclear, the negotiations, okay, were about Iran's nuclear weapons, not their ballistic missiles. But because them JJs, them bitch-ass JJs were so scary, they were like, no, we got to put in these negotiations that they can't continue to build ballistic missiles. And Iran was like, fuck you, the fuck out of here. And they showed, all right, that these ballistic missiles are very formidable, all right? And America and the statehood of the JJs are taking L's left and right. Now here we go, right here. Even at this early stage, Iran war holds some lessons for potential U.S. policy toward and campaign planning against more formidable adversaries such as Russia and especially China. You think China and Russia are going to allow you, all right, to advance? No. They're going to put more pressure on you, all right? And they're going to use Iran, okay, in the beginning of this World War III as a proxy, all right? And watch, get ready, boots on the ground. That's the next thing, boots on the ground. All right, American boots on the ground. And that's going to be the Vietnam 2.0 on steroids. Not only are these foes just as likely to go to school on the U.S. way of war as Iran was, but their material capabilities to interfere with what way of war are significantly greater. Iran's economy, including the defense industry and population, are a fraction of Russia's and absolutely dwarfed by China's. The Iran war should thus be thought as a preview of coming attractions that could be much worse than a great power conflict, though the United States could turn its current predicament into future wisdom if it learns the right lessons. It ain't learning shit, okay? Because this is the will of the Lord, all right? The will of the Lord is to snare America up and lose in this World War III. And we're in the beginning of World War III, okay? So yeah, let me get this scripture right here. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. So are the sons of man snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. Right, okay? America's been snared up, man. All right? And that's why the evil time is going to hit them, all right? And they're going to be in awe, in shock and awe, all right? Because the average American doesn't think, all right, that they're going down, which is foolish. Even the Brookings Institute's telling you that they're weak, that America's military is weak. But yet, this coming destruction is going to catch these people here in Babylon the Great, all right, in a snare, okay? And that's how the Lord likes it. Just like with the whole C-19, it caught people unaware, right? When they shut everything down. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 4. that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? Right. All right. Because it's the Lord that's, all right, taking you out of power. All right. That's taking your hegemony, your dominion from you. 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, you see, and the scepters of the rulers. 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he that ruled the nation to anger is persecuted and none hindered. Right. Again, America was the big bully on the block, as the apostle elders always say, man. America thought it can do whatever the fuck it want with its military. And now it's being shown to the whole world that it doesn't have, okay, the capabilities to stop Iran. So it was all wolf tickets, man. Iran's been sanctioned. Iran's money is literally worthless, and yet they still able to give it to America, which goes to show you that it doesn't take money, all right, to instill ambition and what's it called, and the will to fight, man. It takes belief. It's always been about belief. And that's the thing with you proud ass Edomites. All right, you so-called white people. You think money moves people. No, it doesn't. It may move a fucking low-level 2/3 Jake, all right, who all he thinks about is some fried chicken and a fucking Cadillac, all right? But when it comes, all right, to people that have a heritage, a culture, all right, that they hold on to, you can't buy them. Okay? Same thing with us. You can't buy us. All right? We know who we are now. All right? And that's why you're going down. All right? 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, when you're out of power, hey man, everyone, even the like it says right here, the trees are going to be singing. 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellows come up against us. Yup. 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Right, the pit, the grave. That's what that's talking. That's what hell means. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. Right, all these rulers. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right. All right. You don't think all these other nations are seeing your weakness? All right. You're losing your power. Okay. With this whole ongoing war with Iran. Come on, man. So Lord willing, this is edifying. Hey, you're supposed to be excited. You're supposed to be in the spirit. We're seeing the downfall of our enemies. And this confirms that we're almost out of here. Yahweh Shai, who the word Indy calls Jesus, all right, is about to make his return. We're just waiting for that RFID chip, the mark of the beast, which is coming. All right. Something's going to happen when they change the whole financial system. All right. To this cashless, all right, society. All right. Where you're spending digital currency, and attached to it will be an RFID chip. All right. Radio frequency identification device, aka the mark of the beast. All right. And once they make that mandatory, after that, it's destruction. Nukes fly, wicked people die, and that's the will of the Lord. Okay? And that's who's going to get the glory and the praise. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So Lord willing, let us edify. I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and risking their life for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders as they get up in age. Pray for their health and longevity. For the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, Chad, cover. We're almost out of here. Just stay locked in. We're almost out of here. This place is done. All right? The Lord's coming to deliver the elect. You want to be part of that number, so just keep striving, keep fighting, stay locked in. Don't fall back into this, okay, to this piece of shit world, man. This world is done. This age is cooked, all right? We got the kingdom of heaven, all right? Esau is the end of the world, end of this age, and Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. And with that, shalom.